never believed a single touch could change a life. Not mine. And definitely not the life of a man the world called cold, ruthless, untouchable. But the first time I held his trembling hand, I realized something I wasn't supposed to see. The truth behind his billionaire armor, his pain, and the way he hid it from everyone but me. My name is Emily Hart, and this is the story of how I fell for the one man I was never allowed to love. I grew up ordinary, small-town ordinary, the kind of place where neighbors waved from porches and everyone knew everyone's business before the sun even rose. After my mother's long battle with cancer, I became a nurse almost like instinct. Caregiving lived in my bones. Helping people gave me a sense of purpose I didn't find anywhere else. But purpose doesn't pay bills. So when a private agency reached out, offering a salary I could barely imagine for a live-in nursing assignment with a high-profile patient, I accepted without knowing the full story. All I knew was the name. Adrian Cole, one of the richest men in the country, CEO, investor, public legend, private ghost, a man who disappeared from the world after a car crash left him severely injured. They said he didn't like people, didn't trust anyone, went through nurses like they were disposable gloves. I didn't know why he rented a private estate on a cliff overlooking the Pacific, or why he lived alone there, refusing visitors. All I knew was the warning whispered to me. Never try to get close to him. You won't survive the storm. I met him on a Monday morning, the house wrapped in cold ocean fog. The inside was quiet, too quiet. Every footstep echoed like I had stepped inside a museum built for one man. He sat in a darkened room, lit only by the ocean's reflection on the glass walls. A wheelchair, a brace around his left leg, a faint scar tracing the line of his jaw. And those eyes, God, those eyes, sharp, intelligent, exhausted, eyes that didn't want to be seen. He didn't look at me at first. "Your name?" he said, voice low and hoarse. "Emily, your new nurse." A bitter smile crossed his face. "They always say new," he murmured. "Never for long." I swallowed hard, but something in me refused to step back. "I'm not leaving," I told him quietly. "Not unless you ask me to." His gaze finally lifted, and in that moment, I saw it, a shadow behind the strength, a loneliness so deep it felt like a second heartbeat. No billionaire interviews ever captured that part. No media, no Forbes cover, only I saw it, because he let me. The first week was made of silence. He spoke only when necessary. I handled his medication, helped him during physical therapy, cooked simple meals, though he barely ate. He winced whenever he stood, hiding it behind clenched teeth. He refused painkillers, refused sympathy, refused help. So I helped him anyway. One night, during a storm, the electricity flickered. The house groaned with wind. I found him standing by the glass wall, gripping the railing as the ocean raged below. "You shouldn't be standing without support," I whispered. "I don't need support," he said through gritted teeth. His leg trembled. Sweat gathered at his brow. Pain shot through his features even as he tried to hide it. Without thinking, I reached for him, a steadying hand on his arm. He froze, shocked, breathing hard. "No one touches me," he said quietly. "No one tries." "Maybe that's the problem," I whispered. His eyes softened, just for a moment, and for the first time, he let himself lean on me, just a little, just enough. But it was the beginning. As days passed, the silence between us changed. It became softer, safer. He started asking me small things, how I liked my job, where I grew up, why I always tucked a strand of hair behind my ear when I was thinking. He noticed everything. I caught him smiling once during therapy, just barely. A tiny curl of lips when I teased him. "See? Your leg doesn't hate me as much today." "Only because it likes your voice," he murmured. I felt heat rise to my cheeks. He saw it, and for the first time, Adrian laughed, soft, honest, a sound so rare it felt like breaking spell work. And that was when I realized I cared, more than I should, more than my contract allowed. Every touch lingered, every look burned, every breath between us felt like a moment that could either ruin or save us. But neither of us said it, not yet. He told me the truth on a Thursday evening. We were finishing his therapy, the room warm with sunset colors pooling across the floor. "I wasn't supposed to survive the crash," he said quietly. I froze. He rarely spoke about it. "My brother was driving," he continued. "He lost control." A long breath. "He didn't make it." My chest tightened. "It wasn't your fault, Adrian." He shook his head. "I built a life on being unbreakable, successful, untouchable. But the night he died, the only thing I felt was relief."
But the night he died, the only thing I felt was relief. His voice cracked, and suddenly everything made sense. The loneliness, the guilt, the constant punishment he put himself through. He wasn't hiding from the world. He was hiding from his grief. "You're allowed to feel pain," I whispered. "Not me," he said. "Not after the things I've done." I stepped closer, closer than I ever had. "You're human," I said, "and I see you, Adrian, even the parts you think no one should." He swallowed, hard. For a moment, I thought he would step back. Instead, he reached for my hand and didn't let go. The next morning, a man in a tailored suit arrived at the estate. He was cold, sharp, and looked like he lived on secrets. "I'm Adrian's legal advisor," he said, "but more importantly, I protect the Cole family legacy." He studied me like I was a threat. "Mr. Cole becomes attached too easily when he's vulnerable," he said. "We've seen it happen before, nurses coming for sympathy, for money, for power." My stomach dropped. "I'm not here for any of that." His expression didn't soften. "You will resign today, or I will ensure your life becomes complicated." Before I could respond, I heard a voice behind him. "Enough." Adrian stood at the top of the staircase, leaning heavily on the railing. He stared at the man with fire in his eyes. "She's not leaving," Adrian said. "She's the only person who sees me, and I'm not letting you take her away." My throat tightened, but the advisor wasn't finished. "Then she should know everything," he said. "Tell her, Adrian. Tell her why you were really alone in that house. Tell her about the engagement you ended. Tell her about—" "That's enough," Adrian snapped. "Engagement?" The word hit me like a wave. My heart sank as I whispered, "You were engaged?" He closed his eyes, pain flooding his face. "Yes, before the crash. She left when I couldn't walk." It felt like a punch, not because he had a past, but because he had hidden it, because something inside me feared I was just another temporary comfort. "I need air," I whispered, stepping back. "Emily, please," he said, voice breaking. But I left the house before he could reach me. I walked until the sun dipped behind the ocean, until my chest ached and my legs trembled. I wasn't angry that he'd loved someone before. Everyone has a past. I was hurt because he didn't trust me enough to tell me, because for me, he had become more than a patient. He had become the only heartbeat I listened to at night. And now, it felt like I mattered less than a secret he didn't want to share. When I returned, the house was dim, quiet. I found him in the therapy room, sitting in the dark, forehead resting in his hands. "Emily," he whispered when he saw me. "Don't go." "I don't want to leave," I said, voice trembling. "But I need to know something." His eyes lifted slowly. Was I just comfort? I asked. Someone to fill the silence? Or did I mean something? He wheeled closer, slowly, painfully, until he was right in front of me. You were the first person I felt alive with, he whispered. Not because you patched my wounds, but because you saw the man behind them. I didn't realize I was crying until he reached up and gently wiped a tear with his thumb. I pushed you away because I was scared, he said. Scared that if you saw all of me, you'd walk out like she did. My heart cracked open. Oh, Adrian, I whispered, I'm not her. And I wasn't. Healing isn't a straight line, not with the body, not with the heart. We worked together, slowly, steadily, honestly. He told me more about his past. I told him about mine. We rebuilt trust from the ground up. The day he took his first unassisted step, he looked at me like I was the reason he breathed. Emily, he whispered, if you stay, I'll become the man you believed I could be. I stepped toward him, my hand finding his. I don't need you to become anything, I whispered. I just need you to let yourself be seen. His forehead touched mine. His breath trembled, and for the first time, he let me into his heart without fear. Not as his nurse, not as his caretaker, but as the woman who saw his pain and stayed anyway. People say billionaires are made of stone, that they feel nothing, break for no one, stand above everything. But Adrian taught me the truth. The strongest hearts aren't the ones that never break. They're the ones that learn to love again despite the cracks. And sometimes, all it takes is one person willing to see the pain behind the smile, one person to stay, one person to love. And for Adrian Cole, that person was me. People think healing ends when the pain fades, but I learned quickly healing is a road with quiet storms. The morning after Adrian took his first step, the house felt different, softer, lighter, as if the walls themselves finally sighed with relief. He sat by the window, sunlight warm across his face, and for the first time, he wasn't hiding behind the shadows. You look happier today, I said softly. He glanced at me, a small smile tugging at his lips. I feel happier, he murmured, because you're still here. Those 5 words settled into my heart like a promise, dangerous, beautiful, and impossible to ignore. By noon, everything changed again. His advisor, the man with the cold, glassy stare, returned unannounced. He stepped inside like he owned the house. Mr. Cole, he said stiffly, we need to discuss your upcoming obligations. The board requires... Adrian cut him off. I'm not stepping into a boardroom until I'm ready. And not if Emily feels unsafe around you. The advisor's gaze snapped to me, sharp, calculating, like I was a stain on a perfect white shirt. With all due respect, he said, your nurse is compromising your judgment. Your recovery depends on professional distance. My recovery depends on trust, Adrian said firmly. And she's the only person I trust. Something flickered in the advisor's eyes, something dark. He leaned closer, lowering his voice. Then you should know, Mr. Cole. Your stepmother has been asking questions about her. He nodded toward me. A cold wave hit my spine. Why? Adrian demanded. Because she believes this young woman, your nurse, is distracting you from your responsibilities, and she's prepared to take action. A chill swept across the room. What kind of action? I whispered. The advisor smiled, a cruel, thin smile. The kind that removes obstacles. Adrian pushed himself up from the chair, anger shaking through him. "Get out," he ordered. The advisor didn't argue this time, but as he walked past me, he whispered, "You have no idea what kind of family you've stepped into." And then he was gone. I didn't realize my hands were shaking until Adrian reached for them. "I won't let anyone hurt you," he said softly, but something in his voice told me the danger was real. That night, rain tapped softly against the glass walls. We sat in the dim therapy room, neither of us speaking at first. Finally, I broke the silence. "Why does your stepmother care so much about who you're with?" He sighed, rubbing his temples. "She hates losing control, and she spent years preparing my brother, my younger brother, to take over the company." I blinked. "You had a younger brother too?" He nodded slowly. Pain shadowed his eyes. He died before the crash, a different accident, but she never recovered from it, and part of her believes I didn't protect him." My breath caught. No wonder he carried so much guilt. No wonder he lived like he didn't deserve anything. "That's not fair," I whispered. "You were a kid, too." He shook his head. "She still blames me, and now she thinks you're weakening me." I felt my heart twist. "I'm just your nurse, Adrian," I said. "Why would she think I matter that much?" His eyes lifted, slow, intense, unbearably sincere. "Because you do." I froze. "I don't want to lose you," he whispered, "and that scares me more than anything." I felt my breath tremble. "Adrian." He moved closer, slowly, carefully, his hand brushing mine. Not possessive, not desperate, just honest. "If you ever feel unsafe," he said softly, "tell me. I don't care who I have to fight. I won't let anyone take you from me." And I believed him. It happened during therapy the next morning. His steps were steadier now, his movements more confident. But halfway through the session, he stumbled, just slightly, just enough to grab my waist for balance. My breath caught. His fingers tightened around my side, warm, strong, shaking, not from pain, but emotion. I looked up. He looked down. The air thickened between us, silent, electric, forbidden. His voice was a whisper filled with fear and longing. "Emily, tell me if this is too much." "It's not," I whispered. His thumb slowly traced the fabric at my waist, a soft, trembling touch. We were inches apart, closer than we'd ever been, every heartbeat a confession. I should have stepped back. I didn't. He leaned in the smallest bit, forehead almost touching mine. "This is why they fear you," he whispered, "because I feel alive when you're near." My heart beat so fast I thought he could hear it. But before anything more could happen, a loud crash echoed from outside the room. A vase shattered, footsteps, voices. Someone had entered the house without permission. Adrian tensed immediately. "Stay behind me," he whispered. He limped forward. Pain be damned, determination burning in his eyes. When we reached the hallway, 2 security guards in black suits stood by the door, and behind them, a woman, tall, elegant, eyes cold enough to freeze oceans, his stepmother. "Adrian," she said, voice dripping with false warmth, "we need to talk, alone." "No," he said flatly. "Whatever you came for, say it here." Her gaze shifted to me, slow, disdainful. "So this is the girl," she said. "The nurse who thinks she belongs in our world." I swallowed hard. "She's saving my life," Adrian said firmly, "and you will show her respect." His stepmother laughed softly. "Oh, Adrian, you always did confuse attachment with affection, but this," she gestured at me with a dismissive flick, "is beneath you." Adrian stepped in front of me, blocking her view. "If you insult her again," he he said quietly. I will cut all ties with you, permanently. A hush filled the air. His stepmother's smile faded. You've made your choice then, she said. Over your family. Adrian didn't blink. Yes. The room froze. The guard shifted uncomfortably. His stepmother narrowed her eyes. Then you leave me no choice, she whispered. Emily Hart will regret the day she stepped into this house. My blood ran cold, but before I could speak, Adrian took my hand. Get out, he told her, and stay away from her. She stared at him one last time, a look filled with pure hatred, then turned and walked out. The door closed. The silence shook, and Adrian whispered, I'm done letting anyone hurt you. You're part of my life now, whether the world likes it or not. I didn't know what to say. No one had ever defended me like that. No one had ever chosen me over power, status, or family. Not like this. When he turned toward me, his eyes softened. Emily, you're not safe because of me, he said. I need to fix this, and I will, but I can't lose you. You won't, I whispered. His shoulders relaxed. For the first time, he let his forehead rest against mine. Not rushed, not hungry, just present. Thank you for staying, he whispered. I closed my eyes. I'm not going anywhere. His breath trembled, and then, soft, afraid, honest, not even if I tell you I'm falling for you? My heart stopped, then started again, faster, warmer, fuller than ever. I touched his cheek gently. Then you're not falling alone. The days that followed felt almost normal, almost. Adrian and I fell into a rhythm. Therapy sessions, quiet dinners, small talks about things that had nothing to do with money or power. We laughed over breakfast, shared moments watching sunsets from the cliffside terrace. It was peaceful, fragile, like the calm before a storm you know is coming. Yet, beneath every calm surface, I could feel tension hiding in the quiet corners, in the messages left unsigned, in the subtle eyes watching us. The stepmother's warning echoed in my mind. She wasn't finished, and deep down, Adrian knew it too. He never said it out loud, but I could see the worry in his sharp eyes, the way he sometimes stared at the door a second too long. 2 nights later, an envelope arrived. Thick, black, heavy paper, no return address. I opened it carefully. Inside, a single card, simple, menacing. Leave him, or you'll regret it. My heart sank. I looked at Adrian, who had been silently watching me from the couch. Emily, he said, his voice calm but firm. Nothing will happen to you. I promise. You're with me now, and I will protect you, no matter what. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to feel safe in that warmth, but the card whispered danger, and I couldn't ignore it. That night, sleep refused me. I wandered into the therapy room, and there he was, sitting quietly, staring at the ocean through the glass walls. I'm scared, I admitted softly. Not of him, not of my feelings, but of the world around us. Adrian turned slowly, his gaze meeting mine. You don't need to be, he said. I'll handle them. You focus on us, on healing, on being here, on me. It was the first time he let himself speak his fear openly, and it shook me. The man who controlled millions, whose decisions moved empires, who never let anyone see him falter, was afraid, and he trusted me enough to show it. I stepped closer, and for the first time, our hands intertwined naturally, not professionally, not cautiously, just human. We didn't speak again that night. Words weren't necessary. 2 weeks later, the stepmother returned, not in person, but through an unexpected call. A warning, clear and calculated. I see you've become close, she said, voice sharp as a blade. You're endangering my family's legacy." Adrian didn't flinch. I watched him, proud and scared all at once. "Emily stays," he said firmly, "and nothing you do will change that." The line went dead. We both exhaled slowly. He pulled me into a quiet hug. "Are you sure you're ready for this?" he whispered. "For all of it?" I nodded, resting my head against his chest. "I'm not going anywhere." The next days were filled with small but powerful moments. I held his hand while he tried walking along the terrace, supporting him with gentle strength. He shared stories of childhood mistakes, regrets, and lonely nights. I told him about my mother, my life before the city, my dreams and fears. Every conversation, every touch, every glance built something neither of us could name yet, something delicate, unspoken, and infinitely precious. One evening, as golden hour bathed the room in warmth, he said softly, "Emily, do you know why I let you stay? Why I let anyone see me like this?" I shook my head. "Because I trust you. Because I've never trusted anyone in my life the way I trust you now. And because I think I'm starting to need you." My heart raced. I could feel his warmth, his strength, and the dangerous pull of his vulnerability. And I realized, slowly, that my own heart had crossed a line I couldn't come back from. A week later, an emergency struck. Adrian had pushed himself too far during therapy. His leg gave way unexpectedly. He fell hard, a sharp cry breaking the quiet. I was there instantly. Hands shaking, heart pounding, I helped him onto the bed, checked his injury, held him as he winced. "You scared me," I whispered. "I'm fine," he said, voice tight, but his eyes told a different story. "I just hate feeling weak in front of you." "You're not weak," I said firmly. "You're human, and humans let others help them. Let me help you." Something shifted then. His gaze softened completely, and for the first time, I saw a man fully open, unguarded, utterly human. The night after the accident, we sat quietly, the sound of the ocean filling the room. He turned toward me. "You know," he began, voice trembling, "I didn't believe anyone could ever care about me for who I really am." I shook my head. "Yes, I do. I see everything. Your pain, your strength, your fears, and I care anyway." Tears filled his eyes. He reached for my hand, brushing his thumb along my knuckles. "I love you, Emily," he whispered. Not a command, not a possession. A fragile, beautiful admission. "I love you too, Adrian," I said, voice shaking. For the first time, the billionaire and the nurse stood not as roles or titles, but as two hearts choosing each other against every fear, against every obstacle. Weeks passed. The threats never fully disappeared, but Adrian handled them with unwavering strength. We learned to navigate danger together. The stepmother's attempts faded over time. Her power couldn't break what we had built: trust, understanding, and love. Adrian began walking without my support more confidently each day, and I began to feel the same confidence in our relationship, in our choice to face the world together. One evening, as we watched the sunset, he took my hand, resting it against his chest. "I've never felt complete," he whispered, "until you." I smiled softly, leaning my forehead against his. "And you've never been truly seen," I replied, "until me." We stayed there, quiet, together, in a world that often demanded toughness, but in that moment offered only warmth, trust, and love. And for the first time, I knew the billionaire I had cared for was no longer untouchable. He was mine, and I was his.